The market revolution was a period of significant economic and social change in the United States. It had a profound impact on the country and its people. Over the course of this video, we'll explore the causes and effects of the market revolution, and we'll see how it paved the way for the United States to become a major global economic power. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the market revolution. After a triumphant victory in the War of 1812, the United Statesians were feeling pretty darn good about themselves. It was the dawn of a new age, known as the Era of Good Feelings, where national unity was all the rage and political disagreements were about as common as unicorns. Under the leadership of President James Monroe, the nation experienced a time of economic prosperity, unprecedented, and high morale. But don't let that fool you. Just because there was only one political party didn't mean everybody was the best of friends. In fact, behind the facade of unity, tensions were still running quite high. But hey, at least the lack of conflict allowed for the creation of an American identity through advancements in education, art, and literature. So all things considered, it wasn't all bad, I guess.
This era of minimal political discourse made way for economic developments, characterized by the market revolution. Factors that made way for economic growth were advancements in technology, more specifically in infrastructure and transportation. This included the development of efficient and inexpensive methods of transportation, such as the steamboat and railroads. The steamboat saw higher usage in rivers and canals, enabling the development of economic connections between major cities. A famous example of this is the Erie Canal, completed in 1825. This massive project took 8 years to dig up and covered 360 miles. The canal was a water highway, cutting a 20-day travel from Buffalo to New York down to 6 days and dramatically reduced transportation costs from $100 per ton to $10 per ton.
Now it's time to take a look at our primary source. In this document, Basil Hall, a British visitor, traveled along the Erie Canal and took careful notes on what he found. In this excerpt, he describes his life in Rochester, New York, and other small towns in upstate New York that grew rapidly as a result of the Erie Canal's construction.
Additional innovations that aided the market revolution was the invention of the telegraph in 1844 by Samuel F.B. Morse, which allowed for instant communication across vast distances for finance, diplomacy, war, and news gathering. One characteristic feature of the market revolution was the shift in the American work culture. Prior to the market revolution, a major part of Americans' work life centralized around low-scale textile production, in which factory owners brought raw material to their workers, many of which were women. These workers would manufacture the product within their homes and return the factory owner a sellable product. The advancement in the factory system, however, brought workers from their home to work at the factory, greatly decreasing production costs and increasing productivity. While the men went to work, women stayed home and raised children, a satisfying division of labor with no deep-seated social issues. These factories, often water-powered, led to development of cities that were built on major rivers, such as the Mississippi, as more workers moved closer to factories for convenience. Many of these new factories pushed for a change in gender roles of the time, as they exposed many women to the workplace, and many young women left their rural homes in pursuit of opportunities and jobs within cities in hopes of supporting their family. This contrasted the domestic role that many women assumed in prior years, which expected women to take care of the household and children whilst leaving men as breadwinners of the family. Many of these women worked in textile factories, which became common after Francis Cabot Lowell, an American businessman, introduced the first ever power loom to the United States, transforming the American manufacturing and textile manufacturing industry. Many young women would leave their jobs when it comes time to become a wife and support children.
Now it's time for the thought bubble.
Wow, can you believe it? In 1815, a mattress cost a whopping $50. But just 33 years later, in 1848, the same mattress could be bought for only $5. What a difference! This dramatic change in price is just one example of the market revolution that was happening in America at the time.
Thanks so much, Thought Bubble. Other shifts in the American work life include the development of work schedules, in which workers adhered to strict schedules and paid set wages. This contrasts the prior domestic system, in which workers were paid for the quality and number of products. This transition from the domestic system to the factory system is characterized by an increasing absence of farmers and artisans. along with the notion of ownership over what you produced. Traditionally, most workers in the domestic system had a sense of ownership over what they made, whether it be textiles, crops, and household items. The implementation of the factory system led to the intensive production of industrial products and the disappearance of the connection between the worker and their created product. Many of the products created in factories were interchangeable parts, and an innovation developed by Eli Whitney in 1798 emphasized the manufacturing of neatly identical products for maximizing productivity and profits. With the increasing prominence of factory owners and factory workers, the wealth gap dramatically increased between the rich and the poor throughout the market revolution.
The market revolution was the first major step in industrializing and connecting the American economy as we know it, and changed the way many viewed work from mere labor to a place, from cottage to factory, from owning the means of production to merely producing it, and made the vast expanse that is the United States possible today with its infrastructure. Thank you.